Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am TheOutbackAl.
I'm hot for justice.
I'm Yin&Jung.
I'm chibi noob.
And I'm Envy Jitters.
And we're back. We're here. We're actually kind of going backwards a little bit on our top 5 lists. We were kind of thinking about it. You know, we did cover some of these shows in the Shonen Showdown, but we didn't cover them completely. And we did take some time to go back to see My Hero Academia, and me and Yin did Naruto, so Chibi's number 4 was Jujutsu Kaisen. We should go back and, at the very least, talk about the second half of the show that we didn't see for the Shonen Showdown. So, Chibi, why don't you start with, why was this your number 4?
I guess, as far as, anime go, I hadn't really been watching a whole lot of anime aside from what we normally watch, to talk about for the show, which is usually 3 episodes, and then we move on, but because we were doing it for the showdown, we were going to do 3 episodes, and then if it went well, we were going to continue on with it,
and it ended up winning, so we watched quite a bit.
Yeah, we did. The thing is that it's kind of probably the first anime in a very long time that I actually got really invested in. So when it made it on to the second round for the tournament, I actually just ended up binging the entire thing that was out at the time, because I just really liked it. I was pretty entertained. I thought it was pretty good. So yeah. Honestly, it was just kind of one of those things where it kind of hit at the right time, I guess. So, yeah.
Yeah,
but,
so you started binging the second week that we did that. I'm going to get this out of the way. The second week was the point I did the slideshow. Mm-hmm. I am going to try to say as little as I can about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I have noticed a lot of other similarities. I'm just going to try to leave it there.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So, what should we talk about here? Unless Envy Gav, you want to talk about a little bit how you guys ended up seeing this? Was your first time watching this on the Shonen Showdown, or did you guys already know about it?
Wow, you didn't even ask me.
Well, you introduced it to me. Oh, right, you didn't. Yeah, I know your
You're
history
like
with
Envy
it.
and Gav.
Sorry.
No,
Yin,
it's all right.
Yin
They
would
can
like
go.
Yin would like to go first.
No, they can go first. I was
gonna come to you eventually.
You guys can go.
No, I insist. You go.
All right, I'll just go. I started reading the manga, I don't remember if it was a year ago or something like that. Probably about a year ago. It was before the anime came out by a little bit. I'd say it was 4 or 5 months beforehand. So I was pretty much caught up, I think, on the manga by the time the anime came out. And, I really liked the manga. I did find it kind of similar to some other stuff, but it was other shonens that I enjoyed or thought were pretty good, so I liked it as well. And then I watched the anime, and it was MAPPA, so the animation was really good, and I think it even was able to improve on some scenes of the manga, though the manga art is really good as well. So I think, I definitely think in this arc in particular, I think there were some scenes that were actually improved through the anime. So I really like the anime a lot. It's been one of my tops of the last year or so yeah.
And I will just say you introduced me to it. And that's about the end of my introduction to it.
That's all you have to say.
I mean, yeah, we started watching the sub. I thought it was interesting, and then I found the dub really fun, and just went from there.
Mm-hmm.
Gav, Envy?
Go, Gav.
I honestly can't remember.
It's just always been there.
Yeah, it's just always been there.
Not.
No, I honestly can't remember if I if I started watching it with the Shonen Showdown, or if I watched a little bit before the Shonen Showdown. I don't know. I would have to go back and listen to the Shonen Showdown. to know. But I know I had, like, seen it around, like, before we started watching it, and I was like, oh, this looks interesting, I want to watch it, and then we ended up watching it anyway, so... Which is better for me, because I, like, don't really just sit down and watch stuff on my own anymore. So, yeah.
I mean, I think I remember saying my journey with Jujutsu Kaisen. I saw it when it first aired in October 2020 and watched the first 7-8 episodes. I initially dropped it for a couple months, then I watched episode 9, fell in love with that arc from episode 9 to 13, and then I just watched the second core in January of this year through March, and then that was when we did the Shonen Showdown, or at least that's when when did we start the Shonen Showdown? Was it in January?
The first week of January.
It was January.
Okay, so then the second core was airing whenever we started the Shonen Showdown. I was watching that, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, I didn't talk in great lengths about my problems and likes with it, but yeah, I mostly enjoyed it for the most part.
Well, you can do that here. That's what we're here for. Tell me all the things you hate about it.
I mean, yeah, go on. I rag on your favorite things. You're allowed to rag on mine.
Yes, this is vengeance time for Chibi, because we didn't watch a whole lot of their stuff because reasons.
Well, I mean, it's not that I hated the show. Again, I think the show is a technical masterpiece. Like, I think MAPPA, like, just completely just outdid themselves with the animation. It's just, my biggest problem with the show was tone-wise for me. Like, I don't mind there being comedy in the show. I think you need some kind of levity in shows like this, but I just think, and we talked about this before during the tournament, I just didn't like some of the humor in the show. Like, I didn't get why the point of training. I know we talked about this, but I didn't get how training Itadori to be a great Jujutsu sorcerer was to watch movies in a couch all day and don't break concentration. I know we talked about that later, and I
got that.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't a big fan of Big Muscle Man. I forget his name. I wasn't.
Toto.
Yeah, I wasn't. I wasn't a fan of him, and I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of him in his debut episode. That's what made me drop the show, because I was just like, I don't get this. I don't find any of this funny, personally. But then in the second half, he kind of grew on me a little bit, mainly for his techniques and his fights, which we'll get into. So, I mean, the rest of the show I thought was pretty good. I thought the hide and seek arc kind of dragged a little bit, but it had really good fights, so it kind of balanced out for me. And then we had baseball, and then we had the final arc, which I thought was really good. So
Hide and seek?
The Forest of Death. Sorry, no, I can't call
You're
it that.
talking about the tournament kind of thing, or the
tournament.
exchange?
The sister exchange event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just what I always refer to it as.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically the arc that we're watching right now.
I call it the tuning exam. Sorry, no. I can't do that.
They were quite different, though.
Maybe at the end of the episode, Al, you can go through and list, okay, here's everything that's similar with this show with Naruto.
You can
like
get
last
it out
time.
if you need
Do you
to.
really want me to save everything and just go off?
It's
better
you're
than
allowed
doing it in
to.
spurts, yeah.
This is your podcast.
It's our podcast. I will not take the blame for all of this.
Okay.
No, should we go into like some of the more detailed elements of the plot? Because like this is actually like as far as like I mentioned like last week when we were talking about Naruto, it's not uncommon to see some sort of like test thing involve a forest. I mean, Hunter x Hunter has it as well. There's stuff in, I mean, name an anime. It at some point, protagonists are going to end up in a forest, fight against other semi-protagonists, side characters, what have you. It's just a thing. Just had a I'll save it. Yeah, it's what was the overall like point of this? It was to exorcise spirits or something, right? It was to kill like low grade spirits that were captured and dropped into the forest.
Yeah, so it's basically to see, like, which of the two schools could get the most points before the end of the exercise.
Right.
And also kill the big bad one that they brought into the middle of the forest.
Yes.
Yes. So.
Actually, now it sounds like Demon Slayer. Another thing in a forest. See, it's not just Naruto. I say that now. No, but this was interesting. It was actually really cool to see like the other school and like all of their powers and abilities and stuff, because they were all interesting. We don't get a lot of them yet, like personality-wise, other than maybe Todo and maybe Maki's sister.
Yeah.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, we got a little taste of everybody, but like I don't think we've gone into like depth.
We got some of Bang's girl.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no. You're talking about before, not at the beginning of this arc. Are you talking about in what we watched before in the Shonen Showdown?
I mean, really, we could talk about that as well. It's not like it doesn't exist, you know? But, Bang's girl, who is...
Oh, you're not talking about what we were watching for this time.
Miwa.
Yeah.
Is that Maki's sister?
No.
No.
I think you're talking about who we saw beforehand.
The blue-haired one?
Yeah,
the one with the weird, why did someone cut your hair like that?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. No, I wasn't really talking about her, but, actually, she's probably the one we know the least about, now that I'm thinking about it.
I understand. I thought you were talking about through this arc, but you're talking about the other stuff that we watched.
I'm talking about it all. I mean, I'm mostly talking about the forest at this point, but...
Oh, we saw quite a bit of her then.
I feel like we are agreeing and we're talking about the same thing, but we can't connect on how we're agreeing about it.
We're talking about the exchange event.
Yes!
Yeah, how was she not sure?
She was. I'm saying most of our other team got a little bit more of like a taste of them. I think I know the least about Blue Hair Girl versus Maki's sister.
We'll agree to
blind
disagree.
guy. She's into Gojo. And she got like a
stuff.
magic sword move.
Anyway,
What
I'm
else
sorry.
Did she... No,
you can go on.
now I'm genuinely thinking like I missed something. What
I think we
have I
saw
not missed?
some of how she considers herself really ordinary or like not as good as other people. And I think that's like one of her big things. And also how she came from like a bit of a poor family and she's trying to like rise up from that. I like Miwa, so...
I didn't say I didn't like her. I just said like I think we got a little bit more with what was going on with like Maki and what's her name, Mai.
Oh yeah, that was the main.
There was a lot there. Yeah. There was not as lengthy of stuff, but a decent amount with Mekamaru. Yeah. There was
I'd say he got about as much as
just about probably.
Like Miwa.
There was like that I keep thinking he's blind, but I know he's not. Archer dude with the blood thing.
Oh,
you know who I'm talking about. He dresses up like a priest.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Him and
Yeah,
you know who I'm talking about.
His name is escaping me, but yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's that dude. That guy. And, yeah. Yeah, we actually got to learn a little bit more about Panda, and, like, not so much about, what's... Voice Man. God damn it. I'm not remembering any names.
It's anime.
Voice Man? Oh,
the guy who says
I'm gonna call him Black Bolt because that's like the point of reference that I have.
Oh,
so
Inumaki?
You mean Inumaki?
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Bento
Flakes.
Toge.
Yeah. Yeah, we learn a little bit about everybody because they all have a secret mission to kill Itadori. Because of course they do. But
yeah,
Todo finds him first, and Todo asks him the question of all questions, what kind of woman do you like? And he's like, I like a tall woman with a nice ass. Like Jennifer
and then
Lawrence.
a brotherhood was formed.
And then Todo has a whole non-existent flashback to an alternate reality where they've been friends since childhood and is now convinced of this reality.
Yep.
I'm genuine. Does he know or not that what he saw was not real? Because I don't know, and
he doesn't
honestly
know.
Of all the character stuff, I'm kind of more fascinated about that than anything. That he created an entire world for himself to live in.
Yeah, he thinks
he's
it's
his
real.
own special thing.
This is Toto's world, and we're all just living in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, yeah, he helps out Itadori a lot in this arc, learning how to use his powers better. I like him. I Envy. I know you said you didn't like him, but I like him for some reason. Something about him is just endearing to me.
To each his own. I mean, like I said, I started to warm up a little bit to him. I just hated him in his debut episode, in episode 8, because he just literally shows up and then beats the shit out of
Megami.
Out of that one, Megami. Just
I remember that one's
name. Just for no reason. I was just like, okay, am I supposed to laugh at this? I didn't find it funny.
I don't think the purpose of the whole scenario was to laugh. The purpose of that scenario is to show that, oh, not just the curses are a threat, but your fellow sorcerers are a threat to you as well.
I think it was also to kind of show the gap that's kind of forming. Like they still have quite a ways to go.
Mm-hmm.
It also didn't help too that Mommy or whatever her name was, the Maki's sister, that she was a total bitch. So Mai. On top, Mai, and I know they did her backstory with this arc, and I can kind of empathize with her, but at the same time, it's not like her sister did anything wrong. It's just like she just wanted to live a better life away from, a forced life of servitude, basically. So
yeah, fucked up family.
Mm-hmm.
Maki's got a kind of cool power though.
Yeah.
Bit of a drawback of not being able to see spirits and stuff, but to just be so physically capable, and you just kind of have to work around the whole I can't see things, but I can fight anything. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I did like the reveal of Panda. I actually didn't expect that. I thought that was a really cool twist.
The multi-body or multiple heart forms thing.
I mean, he's not really a panda. He's just kind of a weird creation kind of thing.
I think, what is it? He's a sentient what do they call them? Corpse dolls? Living corpses?
Yeah.
Something like that. But he's a sentient one, which is not something that's been done before, I guess. So he's a bit of an experiment, which gets on Mekamaru's nerves because he's a severely physically impaired individual who uses a robot from a distance to who is also a corpse doll thing to attack people with special weapons and stuff. I'm going to get into that later. Also, a girl from Kiki's Delivery Service.
I was just about to make that comparison.
Absolutely.
You know what? She's the person I got the least out of.
Yeah, I don't know what's with her.
She's into Mai. That's about it.
I have no idea.
Yeah. No, this was interesting, especially once it really gets rolling, because once they're really gunning for Itadori, and then they're gunning for Megami, and they're really out for blood. And then someone else is out for blood because plant spirit person shows up, creates a force field to keep Gojo out, and a bunch of other things happen.
I will say this though before we get to that part. I remember in the old Shonen Showdown tournament, I said I wasn't the biggest fan of Obara. This arc made me turn around to her because I actually liked her a lot, especially when she did her final fight with the sister, and she freaking used that toy hammer. I both pumped my fist in the air and cried hysterically from laughing once that happened.
Yeah, and Obara's kind of badass.
Yeah.
Way
I really
better than
love
Sakura.
her.
But
So I like Nobara now.
Yeah, they have some good group fights. They have some good individual fights. And every fight is different. It's mixing up the powers you're using in combination with other people, the things that you're fighting against, and how your powers are going to react with that. It's very dynamic, and it's very everything. It's you're never going to get the same thing twice. in this show, it feels like. I'm really glad about that, because some shonen, and this is just general for, like, anything, you're gonna, at a certain point, just start to have that, I can only call it Dragon Ball Z syndrome, where it's like, by the end of the show, it becomes, okay, who can create the biggest energy ball to blow up the planet, kind of thing. And, like, you can call them different moves, but at a certain point, it just comes down to, let's just nuke it. And I don't know that we're going in that direction, which is nice. So, do they have a name, the evil people?
No.
Damn. How am I going to refer to them?
The same way you have been referring to them.
I called them the Akatsuki before, and I said I wasn't going to do that.
Evil as lemons.
Oh, evil is I forgot about that. Yes.
Every villain is lemons. There.
Otherwise known as evil.
evil.
So evil is on the move. They set up a force field to keep Gojo out because, yeah, you don't want to fight Gojo. They're trying to... I'm forgetting. Were they trying to kill Itadori, take Itadori, feed him another finger?
They were trying to basically get to him so they could get him to be on their side.
Oh, that's not going to
like,
happen.
kind of get him to come with them willingly, if not kidnap him.
Okay,
weren't
Bakugo,
they also trying
gotcha.
to get? Weren't they also trying to get Sakana to come out, basically too?
Well, that was their reason for trying to get Itadori to come with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want Sukuna.
Yeah, they want that. They want that good shit. And some other people are there. Human sorcerer people. There's a dude who shakes hands with his sword.
Yeah.
That guy is creepy.
I'm
Was
sure
he the
he's
one
not
that
mean.
basically was he the one that basically wanted to turn Gojo into a coat rack?
No,
No.
a
No, that was the guy
different
who gave him the sword. He's a butcher. I'm just gonna call him the butcher because he wears an apron and has a cleaver.
one.
But the teachers come to help, including old man guitar player dude.
That made
Yeah.
me laugh. I'm not gonna lie, that caught me off guard, but in a good way. I remember watching that. And I'm thinking, okay,
Well,
There's a reference there that I'm missing.
He's the guitar player from the opening, and when you really think back on like the animation for the hand that like strums that guitar at the very end,
It's an old-ass hand.
old looking hand. Yeah.
I feel
well,
like
no, like I like looking back on it now, I understand why that part in the opening was there, but at the time I was just wondering what that was for. And
I mean, I always take like the anime openings for a lot of things, like visuals that are like sort of like little clues or hints that of stuff we will see at least later on. Sometimes though they are literally just slideshows that are meant to be cute. So
I still think that it's like it's somewhere in the back of my mind. There's like a reference to some sort of like old dude playing a guitar that blows people up. I can't put my finger on it, but that's what the guy reminds me of. It's
I'm
really
trying
gonna
to
mess
remember.
No idea.
But yeah, that's all happening, and Gojo has to sit out, and they're dealing with Plant... I'm going to call them Plant Lady. I don't know their name. Plant Lady Spirit, because it's a lady. As we saw in Juju Scroll, who's Volcano Dude is in love with. Jogo. That was interesting.
Yeah. That's a thing.
Yeah, Mahito was yeah. I mean, they can be whatever they want, I guess.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, why limit yourself? Yeah, it's Plant Person's time to shine, and they are very difficult to defeat for everybody because they just grow plant limbs and attack with plant stuff, and they take no damage from anything. And then they have a second arm that they use, and it's a whole deal. Honestly, really cool fight, especially when Itadori and Toto get together. Because Toto does
I was
that
gonna say
clap, switch
Toto's
places
power
thing.
was really cool.
Yeah.
Clap and you switch places.
Like, a lot of these tend to come down to, like, it's not the power, it's how you use it kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like, switching places with someone when you clap is, like, kind of such a, like, out-of-left-field sort of ability. but when you use it right, it's unstoppable.
Yeah.
Kind of like...
It was...
Honestly, kind of like, what's his name? From My Hero Academia, the, Mirio. It's like, you don't immediately think phasing through stuff is going to be the most powerful quirk in the world, but, like, once you figure out how to use it right, it's like, wow, you're untouchable. What were you saying, Chibs?
Oh, no. Nothing. I forget what I was saying.
Yeah, so they fight, it's lovely animation throughout. And... what causes them to have to retreat? Did the force field go down and Gojo got in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, right. He does the blue, red, make purple, blasty wave of cosmic destruction.
Yeah.
Reason 5020 why Gojo's OP.
Yeah, and it takes out Hanami's arm.
Yep.
Hanami, that was their name. Yeah, so they're gonna go try to recover. I'm sure they can. Jogo's coming back from being ahead, so, you know, there's ways of dealing with things. And then it's a baseball game.
Yeah.
Fun. It's not... I actually kind of like how sometimes they have, like, those little episodes in between, like, the big arcs where it's just, like... It's not quite filler. I wouldn't call it filler, but it's kind of like, let's just breathe for a second and kind of just relax, because we can't be constantly going at 11 all the time. Who won that? Did anyone win that game? Or did they have
Everybody
to, like, call
won
it
except Toto.
Why did Toto lose?
Because he got hit in the head by Maki pitching and on purpose, and even his own teammates were happy about that, except
You know
for
what?
Itadori.
That makes
Itadori was
sense.
the only one that... Itadori was the only one that gave a shit that he got hit. Everybody else was like, nice pitch, nice pitch, nice pitch.
Of course he
Itadori was
cared.
also the only one who got a home run, so
Well, that's
Jujutsu Tokyo won.
Ah, there we go. I mean, of
There
course
you go.
Itadori would care. I mean, they've been best bros since, like, childhood. It's
Yeah,
just a
since
thing
middle
now.
school.
It is now the reality.
Yeah.
Middle school besties.
Middle school besties. He was there for his first rejection. And he helped him through it. When Toto got rejected by the pop star?
I guess she went there too.
He just kind of pulls everyone in there. I'm waiting for his next fantasy sequence that includes the rest of the class. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, where did they go from there? Because it was the two events, and then... oh, God, we forgot to mention that Itadori's back from the dead now.
Yep.
In this arc. He was considered dead for a very long time, and now he's not. But yeah, so they're going and doing... where are they going from here? This was the part where they got the... You know what? I just remembered. Part of that whole fight was a ruse to get into the school, to get to the vault, and get more cursed spirits out. Like totems and shit, or whatever they call them. Cursed items.
Cursed paintings.
Cursed paintings? With
Yep.
the little vials. There's a specific name for these things. Sukuna's fingers are these things. Cursed artifact. I feel like I'm circling the right term.
I thought that was it. The cursed artifact.
I'll
but
call
I
it,
don't
yeah,
know.
we'll call it that for now. Yeah, they get those, and like 3 of them are brothers who, I'm forgetting their entire backstory, but probably something weird to do with their mom or something.
Well, I don't really... Did they explain the backstory in this one, Yin?
I really
They do
feel like
explain
did,
it at
didn't
some point, but I don't remember if it was in the anime.
I didn't think they explained all of it yet. I think they did
Yeah.
explain that there were 3 brothers.
Yes. Okay.
They explained it.
Oh, they explained the whole thing?
I feel like it was
They-
explained. It's just been a minute for me, so...
They explained about the woman who was a
Okay.
human and
Oh.
who was like bearing the child of a cursed spirit.
Okay.
And how the like death paintings like is what they were called or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like some guy like impregnated her like 9 times and like aborted like 9 times. And
yeah,
these-
it's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so yeah, they did talk about it. Okay.
Yeah, they're all brothers who I guess are like varying degrees of like a developed fetus.
Yep.
And they're all like, hey, we're all going to look out for each other. And then they're brought back to life by Mahito and his buddies. Evil! And yeah, they, hold up, wait, do they go to that bridge next? And Sayaka's their driver?
I was gonna say the trio basically go solve a mystery.
I apologize, everybody. It's actually been a minute since I saw this. And I'm like trying to organize the chain of events.
Well, I
in
mean,
my head.
the trio go to try and solve the mystery of the bridge, and the three brothers end up getting involved because of...
Yeah.
Right. Because people are dying at their doorsteps, and no one knows why, but then they're all connected to this bridge from a high school or a middle school, I forget which, that also Megami and his sister went to. By the way, Megami has a sister, and then we get his backstory.
Yeah, which I love. Oh, God. So good.
Apparently, his ideal woman is his sister.
No, I don't.
They did not take that from Naruto. I will say that right now.
I don't think it was like that.
No.
No, I know, and I know they're not actually, like, siblings.
Yeah.
Excuses.
They had a close relationship, and she was the only one who, like, you know...
Wait, they weren't actually siblings?
No, I
No,
think
they're
they were, like,
step-siblings.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I could have sworn they were related somehow.
Because Megami is related to Maki and Mai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like cousins.
Through his dad. Was part
I
of
didn't
their
know that.
family. And
It's kind of weird that she has a crush on Megami or flirts with him.
I didn't know that at all.
Wait, she did in that first episode she appeared. Am I crazy?
You know what? I probably didn't
I mean, she
notice
flirts
it
with him a
because
little bit, but I don't really think it was flirting.
Maybe that's just her personality.
I think she just was teasing him a little bit.
I'm gonna
okay,
say
she acts flirty in general.
it probably didn't
Maybe,
stand
yeah.
out to me because at that point I didn't know that they were related somehow.
Yeah, they're like distant
it's-
cousins or whatever.
Yeah, still a little bit of like, let's not just not do that.
Maybe
but
I'm wrong. Maybe she wasn't flirting and it just felt like that.
I don't know. And
I think
anyway,
she just made a comment about the fact that Megami's answer was so, I guess, pure and gentlemanly when Toto asked what kind of woman he liked. That's, I think, was like
don't know that
kind
that's
of her
flirting.
response.
I don't know.
Not really flirting, but that she thought it was like kind of cute.
I feel like she almost said he was basic at that point.
I mean, yeah. That was essentially kind of what she did, but it was the expression that they gave her at the time.
Yeah.
At least in the manga.
There was a flirtiness to it, I think. But
I'm
I
gonna
don't know.
pretend like it didn't happen.
I think it was probably her personality, and they were probably just trying to show that she has that kind of teasing personality.
Yeah.
All right.
It's nothing serious.
Okay. Yes. Well, so bridge spirit thing. No more. Yeah. Yeah, it's killing people years and years after they do like a test of courage thing, and they find a cursed domain, and it's the thing from Wait, no, this was not the thing from before, but it's two things. It's two two brothers, and a third thing. I feel like I am mixing everything up in my head.
Here, let me help you.
Was the weird juvenile detention center spirit back?
Yes,
I remember
but it's
that.
not the same one. It's like
Yeah.
similar. They're called finger bears.
Okay. That's a weird name, but I will take it as face value. So a finger dude is back along with two other dudes. One is a mole person.
No. The mole person was originally what turned into the finger bear.
Okay, there's a mole person, a dude who doesn't want to show people his back, and then a third thing.
Yes.
Which is one of the brothers. The blue thing. The Keiichi's Zoo, or something like that is his name.
Why am I thinking that the thing that they fought that, air quotes, killed Itadori was there?
Because it was another one that looked exactly like it.
But
Yeah.
it wasn't the same one?
No.
No.
Not at all.
That's bizarre.
It's a finger bearer.
They bear the fingers of Sukuna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't
So
question
anywho,
it out.
The Fetus Brothers. The Fetus Brothers are dealing with this curse thing. They're amplifying it, or they're doing something, and fight break out. And everyone's kind of sort of fighting their own individual person a little bit. You got, I guess, Itadori working with his new Black Flash move a little bit, or at least trying. Nobara, was she chasing around the one who didn't want to show anyone his back?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Aso.
Megami gets locked in someone else's domain, and then he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go crazy.
That was such a cool moment.
It
Oh,
was.
so good.
He goes
I
ham.
love that so much.
Yep. He's
Both
like,
him-
I'm
both
gonna
him.
make a domain. Shadow Realm, or
So
whatever.
good.
Both him and
Chimera
Nobara
Shadow
really,
Garden.
both him and Nobara really stood out in their fights.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
Yeah.
the intro, like the insert song that plays when Nobara does her crazy spirit attack. It's so good.
Yeah.
I
That was a
like-
hell of a final move for her.
I liked Megami before, but I like him even more now after watching that.
For sure.
Yep. He thrashes some people with his shadow stuff. I mean, Nobara and Itadori at the end are like the ones fighting off the last two, though, and they're
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of like comboing with each other because there was like a chase with a truck or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they infect Itadori and Nobara to decay them from the inside out. But
Yep.
Nobara stabs nails into herself because that's good enough for her voodoo to work. And it hurts the dude. And she's like, take it out or I'm doing another one. Oh, too slow. And just keeps going. Very dark, but very cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then I forget, who got the last move? Was it, did Itadori smash someone with his fist, or was it Nobara with the...
Nobara
no,
did
Nobara?
her resonance and
Right.
took out the last brother.
Okay,
Yeah.
so is that 2 or 3 down
2.
of the 9 Fetus Brothers?
2.
2. I thought so. Because the third guy was just there.
He wasn't even there. He was in flashbacks. Oh no, not flashbacks.
He
but like
couldn't have been in flashbacks. He was fighting him.
He wasn't. No. There were 2 brothers there fighting, Aso and Keichuzu.
Okay.
Choso is the third brother. He was talking to Mahito and Geto.
Okay, but the
And
third
they were
spirit that they
playing
were
a
fighting.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the third spirit they were fighting was the other thing that wasn't a fetus.
Right.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Cool. Grand. Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yes.
Well, not everything.
I missed something. I knew it.
The Jujutsu scrolls.
I mean, yeah.
Right.
There were some cute ones.
I think my
What
favorite
was our
one.
favorite?
I think my favorite one has got to be the one where Itadori thinks Megami's getting hit on, and they have that
Yeah, it's everyone's
formation.
favorite.
Yeah.
That's great.
Everyone's
Yeah,
like,
that one was good.
let's embarrass him as much as we can.
So good.
Like they have multiple formations at the standby just for this specific occasion.
Friggin' Gojo went hard.
He did.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was so funny. Like, I'm his violin teacher. Okay.
We're gonna get you to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
It's such an elaborate story for just
He
that.
is such a hoe.
And then there's the one. I
gotta call him
forget if
Gojo
it was in
from
the
now
first
on.
core or the second core, but the one where they're wearing the girl's skirts for some reason, and Nobara thinks that everyone's wearing her skirt, and it was really somebody else's skirt.
I mean,
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of them
Don't feel
had
like I
her
remember that
skirt.
one.
The other person had Maki's.
Right.
Everybody's stealing everybody's skirts.
Remember Gojo stole one of the skirts?
I remember Gojo was into blue-haired girl, and
No, that
everyone
was
was
a
like
different
weirded out
one.
by it.
That was
Oh,
different.
That was a different one. That's when they were talking about
Yeah.
their types.
Yeah, they're types.
Oh, and one
And
more
he-
person was into Sebastian Stan.
Right.
Yeah.
Apparently, he
that
saw that,
was-
and he's like, "Well, I gotta watch the show now, I guess."
Good.
Yeah, I saw that, just like on my news feed or whatever on my phone, it was like, Sebastian Stan has something to say about being a character in Jujutsu Kaisen, and I was like, what?
I mean, Bill Burr, the comedian, was a big fan of One Punch Man. Anime's cool. I hope anime's cool.
But yeah, Nishimiya was real into Sebastian Stan.
I mean, how could you not? He's like, he's kind of dreamy.
It's...
I'm allowed to like things.
No,
Shut up.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, but it was weird. Like, Gojo was, like, basically saying, like, oh yeah, that Miwa girl's pretty cool, and I was like, what the fuck?
She's a little young.
How old is
She's
Probably
the
like
second
16.
year.
16.
she? Yeah.
16.
Don't do that. Don't be like that, Gojo. Don't.
Stop it. Get some help.
We know you're a hoe, but you don't be that much of a hoe. Ugh. I mean, I know I make jokes, but I know I at least made jokes about this to you, but, like, is it just me, or is, like, everyone secretly into Gojo? Like, just a little bit.
I don't think it's a secret. I think, well...
Like,
I feel like everyone's annoyed with Gojo.
True,
Yeah.
but I almost wonder a little bit if it's, like, one of those, like... I went out with him once, I thought he was cute, and then he turned out to not be that great, and now it's just like, I'm attracted to him, but I don't want to be.
I think you're projecting.
Maybe I am. Maybe I just want to fuck Gojo.
You're into Gojo.
I'm definitely into Gojo.
I like Nanami.
Oh yeah,
He's cool.
I like Nanami too.
He's relatable.
very
Nanami's my
relatable.
spirit animal.
Cool guy. Very cool guy.
He was
Interesting
honestly
power.
he was honestly my favorite character behind Gojo.
Was it this half of the show, or the first half of the show, that we got to see his, like, overtime mode?
That's the
First
first.
half.
Okay.
First half.
Alright. Yeah. Cool set of powers.
Yeah.
Trying to think here. What else? We covered story. Should we cover some things about characters? I know we talked about them a little bit, but we could go into more detail about, like, some of the new arrivals a little bit. I mean, we learned a little bit more about Todo and the sister school people, and a little bit more about, like, Haname? Hanami? Hanami, and that. I don't know that we're learning that much about what the larger plan is yet for evil, other than we need the superpowered
Well, they want to get
lord.
rid of all humans and make the world run by cursed spirits and cursed stuff.
Yeah, that's like big picture. I'm talking like, how do you get there, you know?
With Sukuna.
Yeah.
But how do you get there?
Getting Yuji.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it's pretty clear, actually.
I'm like...
But
you say that.
The
How do you
their
get Yuji?
problem is that they
By
need to
infiltrating.
convince Sukuna to be on their side, I think, is the main issue.
Yeah, I honestly think Sukuna doesn't give a shit about the other cursed spirits. He's just kind of like,
Yeah.
He
I'm
alluded to something of, like, no one truly knew but him what curses really were. So I think there's a much larger thing going on underneath it all that no one else is aware of yet. I'm going to be interested to see. And I think it has something to do with Megami as well, because he has a serious interest in Megami.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I was just about to say he has no interest in anyone except for Megami, and I don't know why. And I'm gonna read the manga because I want to find out why.
I mean,
I think they've already alluded to it a little bit, right?
No, they did. They
that
did.
It's about his
They've
technique.
alluded, it's his power set, I think.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah, I
what
think
he
that's
is
it.
after, and I'm wondering if there is some way that he can absorb it.
I mean, he's the king of demons. Why not? Or the king of curses, lord of
King of
destruction.
Curses.
Yeah, king of curses. That was the thing. I think part of it is also just sort of like one of those. I kind of got the sense a little bit like, interestingly enough, to bring it around to another series we talked about recently, kind of like Fate Zero with Gilgamesh and the priest. I kind of felt like he was like the villainous guy who kind of saw potential in somebody and was like, you're going to be interesting. You're not interesting yet, but I want to see it when you are, kind of deals.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
think, he's like, I don't know what you're going to do, but it's going to be big.
Right.
And he's like, I think that's part of the reason he wanted to make that deal with Itadori to, like, let me hop out once. I won't kill anyone. I need to hop out without you knowing.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be interesting. Does anybody remember what was the deal with bow and arrow blood dude?
What about him?
Yeah, what about him?
You mean Kamo?
Yeah, I feel like I'm blanking completely on his whole deal. Other than he used blood.
Isn't he like an heir to the Kamo clan?
That sounds like something that would be a thing.
Because, like, I guess, like, his whole thing is, like, he... Did they explain this in the manga yet? I want to say that they did. It's, like, part of his backstory where, like, his mother is, like, a concubine to, like, the head of the clan, and then he himself is basically named the heir because he's the one who has the one ability that they like need,
Magic blood
like,
powers.
Yeah, so
okay. So no one
I think
had.
that's his deal. Do not quote me on that.
So virtually no one has had a happy home life.
No.
Other than maybe Toto, who had that lovely middle school experience.
We don't know anything about the family.
I think.
Do we know anything about Nobara other than she's from the country and hates the country and wants to live to the city?
I mean, she had that friend who got run out of town, and
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just assuming her parents were just like not super into it and whatever. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think we saw her parents.
Yeah, I guess Yuji was fine. No, yeah. I mean,
Well,
other
he
than
was
Grandpa
an
died.
orphan, right?
Itadori?
He doesn't have parents.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I thought he had a grandpa.
He has a grandpa. He
grandpa.
doesn't have parents.
Oh, okay. I thought you said orphan. I thought it was like, oh, he was adopted or something. But like
Orphan,
I
like
guess
his
that...
parents
No,
are dead.
I'm hearing myself say it now, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm pretty stupid.
It's all right.
1 + 2 is 4, and yeah,
Have they talked about Megumi's family situation? I guess not
the
yet.
sister, and I guess the connection to
They didn't
Maka's
talk about his dad
family.
yet, right?
No,
Just that he
his
was
dad doesn't
connected.
come along until like around the time they start covering Gojo's backstory arc.
Yeah, you're
Gojo's
right.
backstory arc. Oh boy.
Yeah, some of the really interesting stuff is later on, and I'm itching to talk about it, but then I'm like, you guys don't know.
Well, they got they got the movie coming out for the person who was like absent for the
Yeah.
It's
Thing.
It's based off the prequel manga Jujutsu Kaisen 0.
Right.
Okay. And when's that coming out?
December.
Japan in December. I don't know about worldwide.
I'm gonna say February for us probably. Or January if we're lucky.
Probably spring. Some point. March, April.
We'll have to see about that. I'm trying to think what else. I kind of wish I had just like fast forwarded through this recently just to like refresh myself. I feel like I'm missing so many things. Oh,
What?
I'm just frustrated with myself. I feel like I'm missing things.
I mean, I guess I'll say a hot take. There may be a... I don't know what the opinion is on the internet, but I can say...
Depends how
I guess
hot it is.
I prefer the second opening to the first opening.
I don't know that that's hot.
Musically, I do as well.
For both
I think
visuals
that-
and music.
Oh, for the visuals too. I might have liked the visuals better in the first, because in the second one, I don't know why, but they look kind of funky sometimes. Like, do you remember that, Al?
In the second one?
Yeah, they
I
almost
think they
look
pretty
like
much
too
use the same
computer
animation.
animated.
So.
Yeah, there was a couple spots
Remember
like...
Gojo walking in the rain? He looked like a
No,
robot.
that was Nanami.
No, it was Gojo.
Was it Gojo?
Yeah. There are a few parts where it looks
Nanami
weird.
was doing that bounce thing, though.
Like, that was just how he was walking. I'm thinking of Gojo. There are a few parts that were too computer animated to me, but I think the song was better, in my opinion.
I mean, I think the hot take and the controversial one would have been that the second ending is better than the first.
I mean, it's
Because
going
it's
for
not.
it's going for a different thing. It's trying to be
It
a little
is,
more
but
somber. and
objectively,
emo-
the first one is better.
Well, I mean,
Objectively,
It's really
the first
pretty,
one is
though,
better.
the second ending.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's
I- I-
Like, the
lovely
visuals are
animation,
really
but
nice.
like you cannot beat that first ending. Just, funky.
Yeah,
Love
was
it.
good.
That's the ending you don't ever skip.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about the animation multiple times with this thing. It still looks great. I just feel like I'm missing something. Does
All right,
anyone else have other-
I guess I can ask the question to Yin and Chibi since they've read the manga. Without giving away anything, what can we expect going forward if there is a season 2?
Who gets fucked by Gojo next?
I mean, Gojo's backstory arc, and lots of sadness and tears.
Pretty much. That
Ouch.
sums it up.
That makes me sad. Preemptively.
I mean, I will just say, be prepared for a world of hurt. Is all I can say.
Yeah,
Without giving anything away.
There's not much downtime later on. Like, once shit hits the fan, it kind of just keeps going. But it's really exciting, so I like that arc a lot. It goes on for, like, 50-some chapters, but it's really good.
It does, and it's all in one night.
Yeah.
It's a long-ass night.
Long night.
Isn't the manga technically on hiatus right now, or...?
It came back.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
It was on hiatus for a little bit, but it's been going weekly again now.
Is the writer doing better? Because, like, I think, didn't he take the hiatus because he had to, like...
His health issues were happening, but I think he's doing better. Who knows?
I hope so.
Hopefully he's well. Or they or she, we don't know.
Do they have, like, a pen name? Like, we don't know the real name?
I mean, I think just nobody knows what they look like or what their gender is or anything. Like a lot of manga authors.
Like their privacy?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It's I mean, they mostly do that for anonymity, and also, we don't really know because literally, Gege Akutami's basically, like, Avatar is a one-eyed cat.
Yeah, they're just a one-eyed cat.
Like one eye, like Cyclops, or one eye, like
Like
one
a
eye
Cyclops.
Okay.
Cyclops.
Interesting.
Cute.
It's kind of weird how, like, unless you're, like, a big-name manga artist, a lot of times they go underappreciated, or you don't know too much about them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe
get
they
that.
don't want to be known.
Yeah, that's kind of a
That's
thing.
fair.
It's just more the fact that I don't really think that they actually want people to know who they are, and kind of like standing behind a wall of anonymity is basically like someone, like a regular author here, taking a pen name.
I loved during an interview, they dressed up as Mechamaru. It was great.
Like the full deal?
Yeah.
I might have to take a
Dressed
look
as
and see that.
Mechamaru. As far as I can remember, I'm pretty sure it happened.
I just remember when episode 19 of Demon Slayer came out a couple years ago, the author of the original light novel did an interview saying what did they think of the show, and she pretty much said it was better than anything I could have imagined. So I guess certain cases, if a show is big enough, they'll do interviews with the original creator.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more of those from this person, if they're up to it.
Yeah.
You know.
It's all up to them. I think they're doing well for themselves regardless. It's a really popular manga.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have anything else? Should I go off?
You can say it if you need to.
Yeah, go
Can
on.
you let it out?
Oh god, where do I start?
Just go down the list.
Have I talked about the tuning exam? I feel like I've talked about the tuning exam, the Forest of Death, where it's
Yep.
a whole bunch of people going around in the forest and they're all trying to kill each other when they're not actually supposed to kill each other. Well, they're sort of supposed to kill each other, but but there's like a specific mission to kill one person, and it's yep, and you know that they're saved by other people who are from the same school, but like it's also fucking Rock Lee again who saves them, and okay, there wasn't like a big Orochimaru reveal, sure, but. You know what else happened? An invasion of the school right after the tuning exam, and there's a force field that is supposed to keep people out so the people inside can fight uninterrupted, and the animation's really amazing, and...
That was very different than what happened, though.
Oh, really? Because they were
that
also
was
growing
after
giant
the
plants.
Tournament that was after the tournament that the force field thing happened in
It's still the
Naruto.
tuning exam, my friend. It's still the tuning
But
exam.
it wasn't in the forest.
Okay, it's fair. That wasn't in the forest,
It did
but
not
like...
ring similar to me.
Yeah, but but inside the force field of death and fire is a battle going on.
And that was like
with...
2 seconds. in
force field?
Jujutsu Kaisen, and it lasted a long time in Naruto. I feel like it was like...
I will grant you it lasted a very long time.
It was a very different scenario.
Okay, fine.
I
maybe
can
not,
refute some of
maybe
your
not
stuff now that I've
one
seen
for
Naruto.
one. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. The force field fight, do they not involve someone using giant plants?
Well, are you talking about the third Hokage?
I'm talking about the first Hokage and Hannah Montana, whatever their name is.
But it's...
I am on a roll. I am not going to remember names.
I just feel like it's different, though, because they're focused on different stuff. It was focused on Orochimaru and the third Hokage.
Okay, if I might also put out another thing. Did someone lose their arms at the end of that fight?
Hanami lost an arm.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Guess what Orochimaru lost at the end of that fight?
All right. That did
arm?
happen.
Both his arms. Okay, so Orochimaru might have had it a little bit worse.
Yes, you could say it's somewhat similar.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that. What else can I talk about in regard to that? I mean, we can start talking elements from Shippuden, like Mechamaru. We literally just finished the pain arc.
All right.
Nagato, who's a dude
This one's a little similar.
miles away with a frail body, who sends his chakra out to corpse robots that he controls.
Wow.
Oh.
Which have multiple various powers.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say about that one. You're right.
You know, imagine an alternate timeline where Al didn't grow up watching Naruto, and so he's watching Jujutsu Kaisen, thinking, oh, you know, all this stuff is really cool. I wonder where they get these ideas from.
I'm gonna throw this out there to you. I feel like I'm really going hard on this when there's a number of elements here that are shared between multiple things. Like I mentioned, the forest element, the forest test element. They're amongst many anime. What it comes down to for me is that it's like, it's not the one trope you're using, it's the trope and all the details around it that look bizarrely similar. Like, you know, no one can copyright an F chord. But when you have an F chord followed by a very specific string of 12 other chords, it starts to become the song that was played by someone else already.
Beauty and the Beast, we heard last.
Oh yes, from that thing, yeah. Sure. Yeah, you're changing the arrangement a little bit, but I know where you're getting this from.
Yeah. They're
So
doing
there's-
samples.
Yeah,
Samples.
there's that. Should we talk about Maki and Mai basically being the equivalent of Hinata and Neji here for a minute for your little tuning exam arc? I mean, the not quite siblings. Hinata and Neji are cousins, but they're very closely related into a very conservative family that is very strict about the upbringing of people and whatnot, and they have a fight because they have a difference of ideology.
I don't know about that one.
Okay, all right.
They have very different personalities to me.
Tuning
than
exam also
Neji
learned.
and Hinata.
The tuning exam, this is very broad, I guess, but the tuning exam also involved learning how to summon animals, which is something that is Megumi's specialty. I'm not going to call that one entirely.
I would say Megumi's stuff is a little bit more like Sai, maybe. I don't know.
Oh,
like-
okay, then we can go there if you
But
want.
I mean, Megumi is still different because it's more like shadows.
Shadows,
But
because
Sai's
summoning
is more like
shadow
drawings.
things is not a thing from Naruto.
Those are shadow clones.
You're telling me I'm not going to be surprised at
They
the
are
point where
not
Megumi
dogs.
pulls his dogs out and turns them into people.
Yeah, I don't know. It just the visual reminds me a little bit
Well,
of what Sai's
he-
got. But
Oh,
not
and he also
exactly.
uses hand signs to summon these things.
Al, he actually did already turn his shadows into himself.
Motherfucker!
Yeah.
I think
So
there-
one could
there are
call
a
it
lot of-
literally a shadow clone.
I don't think Naruto created shadow clones.
The name specifically, it might have.
Are you sure that that's not something that existed before Naruto?
I'd have to go.
We'd have to look it
deep
up.
Looking, but like,
I don't
it's
really know.
It is a signature, and you cannot
All
disagree
right.
with me on that
That's
one.
true, but I feel like a lot of their power sets are like not necessarily something that originated from Naruto. Because you know, it's based
Mechamaru.
on like jutsus and stuff. Okay, Mechamaru,
Mechamaru is
I
very-
can't say anything about that. He is like pain. Very much so.
we haven't gotten to a big part of Shippuden with Zetsu yet. And I don't know what they are, whole thing, the plant person.
I mean, did
are you talking
I'm
about the
not
Katsuki?
gonna be surprised
I mean,
if they're like Hannah Montana.
I mean, Chibi might know this one, but did Inuyasha ever have to deal with anything where people did like shadow clones or stuff like that? Did they fight anybody like that?
What?
In Inuyasha, did they ever fight anybody that created like shadow clones, like in Naruto?
Oh, please don't ask. I don't remember.
That's like 500
It's been
episodes
a
they gotta
long
go back through.
time. It's been a very long time, so I don't remember.
I just feel like anything like shadow creatures and stuff is so
Sure.
across cultures.
Sure,
Even. And
I will grant you
Yeah.
that. That's why I was kind of saying very lightly with Megami, but
yeah.
also summons frogs.
Who summons frogs?
Megami.
Well, he summons like every animal. He summons
True.
bunnies.
That's why I'm saying it's very, very. I have not seen bunnies yet.
He summons bunnies later. I'm pretty sure it was bunnies,
Yeah.
right?
The elephant was cool.
Yeah, he summons a shit ton of bunnies.
Yeah.
What else? I mean, we've said Kiki, but I could say that
Yeah.
they got Tamari's particular
It was definitely
moves.
Kiki.
No, I grant you that. There was a dude with multiple hearts who could transform his body based on which heart he was using. Definitely doesn't sound anything like what's his face from the Akatsuki.
Panda.
Oh, Panda. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the first Akatsuki who they fought? No.
Sasori?
No, you're
I
talking
mean, if you
about
really want to go
Sauce.
puppets
You're
wise,
not talking
sure.
about
I was going more with
You're talking about that one
Kakuza.
guy.
Yeah, the guy who was with Hidan. Speaking of
guy.
Hidan, I have never before seen someone ingest part of somebody else to get a marking all over their body to then stab themselves repeatedly
similar.
to cause pain to their opponent.
That was like no.
Definitely haven't seen that anywhere else.
It was a similar moment for sure.
Oh my god, I was like, oh yeah, no, that moment happened, and I think I just
He was inspired by it.
yes, very inspired.
It still worked though. I think it was still a good moment in Jujutsu
I don't
Kaisen.
want anyone to think that I don't like this show. I like this show, but this is to me this is just one of those things of like,
You're saying they copied the whole work.
there's a long history of it throughout the world. It's like I've said before, Magnificent Seven is very clearly based on the Seven Samurai. A Fistful of Dollars is clearly Yojimbo. I think as far as copying people's homework, I think we're far more in the Fistful of Dollars versus Yojimbo thing, where people don't immediately think that, versus the very obvious Magnificent Seven Samurai thing.
Yeah.
But it's still there. God, I'm trying to think who else. I've already mentioned a number of aesthetic similarities between people already. And if you don't know all those aesthetic similarities, go back and watch the second Jujutsu Kaisen. What was it? Jujutsu Kaisen versus One Piece?
The only one that really sticks out to me is that old man.
The old man just is the guy from the Sand Village. Gojo is Kakashi.
Okay, that one too. Those are the two that really stick out. The rest, you could make arguments that it's just similar. But the old man and Gojo, you can't get around it.
Mm-hmm.
The rest is pretty... I would say it's still original enough.
Was I a little bit accurate in regards to that whole Datara Jogo thing?
No, I don't know. About
Egotistical explosion guy with one eye fights Kakashi and gets parts of his body ripped off by a black hole.
Once again, the fights didn't seem that similar to me. I think if you look at the detail of, I guess, a black hole-like thing, but I think in Naruto it wasn't even a black hole. Like, it wasn't like they were in an expanse of blackness. It was just like there was a hole, like, in the sky or whatever, right? They weren't
That tore off his limb and pull it to a different dimension.
They weren't in complete blackness the
From
whole
his
time.
eyes.
I don't think it was exactly the same. It felt different to me.
You know, I was just thinking, like, Naruto and Yuji are both vessels for, like, an evil entity.
Yes,
And
a spiky
they
haired
have-
protagonist who's very nice to everybody and makes friends super fast and has
Markings on their face.
Markings on his face, and an evil entity inside of it that people want to use to take over the world. And he has an inner mind space that he goes to talk to it sometimes and argue with.
Yeah, but Yuji wasn't a dick right
who
out of the
keeps
gate.
trying to strike a deal with him.
I'm sorry if you hear pounding. That's my cat at the door.
It's fine.
It's just that Yuji was actually more likable at the start of the series rather than Naruto.
I disagree. I think Naruto was likable.
I do too. I liked Naruto.
So I didn't mind Naruto at the start of the series. I think, though, where that comes into play is the difference in their age. Because Naruto is obviously childish. Either anywhere from 10 to 12. Yuji is obviously 15 to 16. So
I'm going to say this because I kind of mentioned this before when we were talking about Naruto before. I think one of the drawbacks that I have with Yuji and why I like Naruto a little bit better is because Yuji is very much a flat arc character.
Yeah.
And Naruto has an arc to some degree. Like,
Yuji's like Tanjiro.
Yeah.
A little bit.
He doesn't really have any internal conflict.
I mean, doesn't he get a little bit of internal conflict later on in the series, Yin?
I haven't seen it.
I don't feel like he has a fatal flaw or anything that he has to overcome is my major issue. I think he has obstacles, but they all feel very external to him, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if maybe you picked up on something else, but to me they don't feel like internal struggles.
So I think a lot of it more is the fact that he's struggling with, I guess, more of his internal struggle is the fact that he realizes he has to kill people. And he hates that.
I think there's and that's the external for me. It's the world is cruel and dark and my friends are gonna die and my family's gonna die. I think it's he has to face those realizations that things aren't nice and that the world is hard. And I think that is a struggle, and it makes us sympathize with him a lot, and I think we can empathize with that issue. But still, it doesn't feel like it's
he doesn't have a flaw that
it's not
he's
a
overcoming.
flaw. Yeah, it's not a problem with him. It's a problem with the world, you know?
The thing is I feel like when I think of his internal struggle with that is more like he's realizing in the fact that he realizes he has to do it despite the fact that he deeply does not want to.
But that's a likable trait,
issue,
though.
but I guess that it could be considered an external one, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it kind of feels like not wanting to kill people is a good thing. That's a good quality. So I don't feel like it's a bad thing he has to overcome, you know?
Maybe it's the fact that he's too nice.
Maybe. I mean, maybe they'll go in that direction where maybe he's too weak to, fight somebody in the end. But so far, it seems like he's strong enough to still fight people, you know? But maybe they'll make it become an obstacle that he's too nice later on, which I would like to see. I think if it became a hardship, that would be good.
I feel like if they're gonna do that with anyone, they'd probably have him have a big final fight with Megumi.
That could be interesting. If Megumi does join Sukuna or something, that would be interesting.
Oh, that would be interesting. Your dark, angsty friend with the dark, spiky hair.
No! Stop, but you're right.
That he's a Sasuke. That's all I'm saying.
He doesn't act like Sasuke.
No, he's far less annoying than Sasuke. You guys did not see later. Sasuke got real, and we did not mention this last time. How much he has to say, "I am an Avenger."
I hate the Avenger. But
you think Naruto said "believe it" a lot? My God, how were people not complaining about that back in the day?
Because people were into it.
Yeah, people
into
were.
him saying "I am an Avenger" every 3 minutes.
I don't feel like he says it that much.
Okay, I'm exaggerating, but it was twice an episode at least.
It's just
let's face it. Back then, people were into the angsty teen boy sort of aesthetic.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like Megumi's a lot more chill than Sasuke. And I don't feel like he and Itadori have a rivalry necessarily. It does feel like they're friends.
I mean...
And they kind of, I guess, maybe have a rivalry, but I really don't
I
feel
think
like
Megami thinks of him as a rival.
Even
I mean,
see a rivalry between those two.
it's
like,
like
if
they
there's a-
kind of hinted at it in one episode, and that's it.
yeah, it's not like a you are my eternal rival thing. It's
Yeah.
more of like you're good. That makes me think I need to be better.
It was that one
It's a
flashback
friendly
between
thing.
him and Gojo when they were like practicing, and he was like,
Yeah.
not strong enough
It's-
for, against Itadori.
It's the same rivalry that you generally have with anyone else in your field.
Yeah,
You
it's,
want
it's
to
like
be the
colleagues
best.
having a
Yeah,
rivalry.
he has you could argue he has the same rivalry with Todo, or the same rivalry with Nobara or
Yeah.
Maki or whoever. It just so happens that that's kind of someone
It's
he's close with.
definitely
So,
not like Naruto and
It's
Sasuke.
they were in love. I mean,
Yeah.
we can all admit that at this point.
Definitely. There's a lot of obsession there.
Oh my god.
I'll be honest, Al.
Shippuden, it just
I've
gets
never
way
heard that
more.
line. I'm an Avenger through nerd osmosis over the years. I never knew he said that all the time.
Dude, so much.
It's hilarious.
Like rewatching it just made me realize how much he says that.
Like he
shit.
wants to avenge his village or
it's
something
not
like
that
that. or-
frequent.
His clan that
It's actually not that frequent. It's just when it happens, it's super cringy and emo.
yeah, it's just like I don't know. It's one of those like
I love
you-
his country theme.
Oh, yeah, that's really good later. Sasuke Uchiha or whatever it is. He like has a whole
Anyway,
arc.
we're going
you know
on
what?
about Naruto.
We'll
We
talk,
can't
we'll talk
do
about that.
this.
We got a Shippuden thing
We
coming
gotta
up at some
stop.
point. We will. Hey, that's my section for this. This is my section.
Then go on, but we can't be talking about Sasuke Uchiha.
What can I talk about Itachi?
Fine, talk about Itachi.
Oh no, not Itachi, but maybe another Uchiha who might be the basis for some. You know what? I will
You're
say
talking about
this.
Geto.
Yes,
'Cause
I'm
that's
talking a little bit about
Obito.
Geto. A little bit of Obito right there. But we will say that the author did say that they drew him from
That was
what's his face from Yu Yu
Yu Yu
Hakusho.
Hakusho.
So that's somewhere else. He just might so happen to have a backstory not dissimilar to Kakashi and Obito. Just a guess.
Well, you haven't read it yet. I just think you will say it's similar.
Oh,
like
I
can
guarantee you.
see you saying it now, but I know you haven't
We'll
seen
see.
it yet.
We'll see.
I just know you'll get on it.
Mhm. I can't wait to
think
see
their
what.
backstory is really interesting, though. Geto and Gojo's.
I'm
yeah,
sure it is.
It is interesting, and I will say, like, when I actually read that part of the manga, I was just kind of like, huh? What is this? I feel like it turned from like supernatural, like sort of like action adventure kind of show into like more of a sci-fi sort of
Was it the
trippy
star
kind of thing.
plasma?
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, what is going on?
The
Like, is she
name
an
of it.
alien? I don't understand.
Oh my god, wait, was there some sort of like alien jujutsu god?
No,
No.
Alright.
it wasn't
Alright.
a god.
Alright.
It's hard to explain. I don't even
Yeah.
know where to start with that.
We'll
but-
see where we are at the end of
Yeah,
Shippuden and see if that looks like anything.
I
doubt it.
still wasn't really able to wrap my head around what was going on with that character by the time the arc ended. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
I think I have to read it again to fully
Yeah.
understand it. There was a lot happening. I know that the fight, I can't say who it's between, but Gojo and the one guy, you know who I mean, was
Well,
a
you
really
just said
awesome
Gojo
fight.
was involved.
Well, you know Gojo's involved. It's his past.
Okay.
He's gonna
Yeah.
have a fight.
Okay.
But I won't say who he was fighting, but it was a cool scene.
It was a cool scene, for sure. But, like, everything leading up to that, I was just like, what the fuck is going on?
There was a lot happening. And they went to a beach. I'll say that.
They did. They did go to a beach.
You know, that's something Naruto never really did.
There was no beach episode, huh? There's like 2 or 3 beach endings, though. Like,
Oh, the ending
weird
songs.
amount,
Yeah.
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 and it's always Sakura walking down a beach.
Yeah.
Anyhow. Do you have any more similarities, or did you exhaust your similarities between Naruto and Jujutsu Kaisen?
I think I covered most of it. I will say one clear improvement that was made
Obara?
is that yeah, dude knows how to write women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big improvement.
Yeah, I think Nobara and Sakura had a very similar moment with the whole, like, I can be pretty and I can be strong. Sakura said almost the exact same thing, but I think, like...
If that's the only thing they took,
I think
good.
they built Nobara better around that than they did with Sakura.
Yeah. I think also, like, the fact that the characters are, like, probably a little more mature, at least, like, mentally and emotionally, probably does help that a little bit. Considering, like, their age difference.
Yeah,
So.
definitely when we're talking about, like, the first Naruto versus Jujutsu Kaisen, they're definitely younger. I'd say the second Naruto, they're, like, 16, though. So they're a little more mature. Sakura
they're
gets
of an age
miles
at that
better.
Oh my god, what an improvement.
But in the first Naruto, she was grading, as I'm sure everyone remembers.
Yeah.
So Nobara, much better.
Mm-hmm.
I think Maki and I like Miwa as well. I think are also really strong characters in terms of the girls.
Definitely.
I think Mai is pretty good, but we don't see her that much. But I think her past with Maki was good.
Yeah.
Their relationship is pretty interesting. And there's some stuff recently in the manga that was interesting with them too. I think Maki gets even more interesting, but that's very recent.
Okay. I think I've exhausted myself.
That's good. I'm glad you got it out.
Until the next season comes out, obviously. But
all right, well, just read the manga.
I'm just... Yin, is there...
Yes.
Like, the next arc that's coming up after the Gojo backstory arc, is there an arc similar to that in Naruto?
The Shibuya one?
Yeah.
you've only seen half of Shippuden at this point, so don't say no for sure.
It's just the stuff that Al finds similar, I don't always find as similar because I find it to be only similar in the details. So I'm sure he'll say it's similar to something in Naruto, but I don't think so. I don't see anything that really stands out to me as that similar.
I said before, the fact that they were taking a test in a forest is not the big deal. It's everything else around that that's the big deal.
Like, I agree with you about Pain and Kakashi and stuff like
goodness.
that. But I don't know if I agree about, like, the force field and that kind of stuff, you know? So I think it's, like, it depends. But obviously he drew inspiration from a lot of stuff. Like, he even pointed out for himself, like, Yu Yu Hakusho.
Right.
So it's like, and I think he pointed out Bleach before as something that he took a lot of inspiration from.
Sure.
And I'm sure if you had watched Bleach, you would be pointing out a bunch of stuff from that as well.
I mean, the magic sword elements that they've had a little bit definitely rings true of that. Stuff like that. Just the general spirit.
The author,
stuff.
is very
Absolutely.
open that he was inspired by other shonen writers, and I think it's good that they're open about it, you know.
I just so happen to be a Narutard is the only reason
I think it's
I'm
more
doing
of
this.
like,
Wow.
what's the
It's
difference
true.
between Naruto tropes and just general anime shonen tropes in general?
It's the details in there. I said the thing about the, like, F chord is just an F chord, but when you put it with 10 other chords, it becomes a song, and if you do the exact same thing, it is from that song.
I like I said, I can see what you're saying about some of them being very similar, but other ones I think are just an F chord, like some of the similarities.
Okay.
But that's just my opinion. But I see what you're saying, though. I think you're right that there are a lot of similarities. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. So maybe Kakashi, they could have made him look a little different, you know?
I don't know. I think Gojo's kind of perfect the way he is.
Meh.
No,
Simp.
he's perfect.
Simp.
I mean, I don't know.
Did you just call me a
it's
simp?
Maybe it's just the fact that I'm just, like, not really as crazy about him as everyone else is. I'm not really sure.
He's fun.
You don't like Gojo?
I mean, he's a fun character, but I don't adore him for whatever reason. I don't know. He's a little off-putting to me. I mean, he's a fun character, but I don't know. I like Nanami way better than I like him.
Is it because he's kind of annoying? Is that why he's off-putting?
I think so.
Guess that makes sense. I feel like if he was a real person, he would be annoying to be around.
Yeah, like, the thing is I find Gojo to be a caricature. I think is my issue with him. I don't find that necessarily with Nanami, and I feel like if they had made Gojo a little bit more real, I feel like I would actually quite like him. But I think it's just the fact that he is literally so weird and so goofy and just literally just I can't really describe him is kind of even a thing that kind of like is very off-putting about him because I don't know what word to describe him other than just like OP, extremely like overconfident and chaotic. Yeah, he's I literally just sometimes call him. I'm like he's a chaotic gremlin. That's literally all I think of when I see him.
Yeah.
I will say this for making him Kakashi, and then having another teacher character around. They didn't make the Kakashi in the Kakashi Guy relationship.
What?
Nanami's far more the Kakashi.
Yeah, Nanami acts more like Kakashi.
I mean, he's a lot more
Honestly,
strict.
And then Gojo annoys him like Guy.
Yeah, like, honestly, out of Gojo and Kakashi, I liked Kakashi a lot more, and I'm not even, like, a Kakashi fangirl. Like, we got introduced to Kakashi, and I'm just like, Kakashi's fine. He's okay.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. You keep watching that show, you're gonna be a fangirl. Everybody loves Kakashi.
You're projecting again.
I don't know. Here's the thing. I feel like my opinions on characters, like, once I form them, they kind of stay unless, like, I get some big revelations or they really grow on me, so...
Okay. I am gonna say with Naruto characters, they can flip.
They can flip hard.
Like, there's one character I couldn't stand at first, and then later on, he was one of my favorite characters. So, they can surprise you.
Those of you who watched the Naruto episode know who that is.
Yep. I was so mad. I liked him later. But I can also just see what you're saying, where it's like, sometimes you just get a fixed image of a character, and it's like, it's not gonna change.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. If I continued watching it, might my opinion change? Sure, but I don't really think, like... I don't know, and I guess it's just the fact that I don't really, like, get the hots for characters, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, I don't actually want to fuck these characters.
Are you sure?
I'm 95% sure that I don't want to fuck these characters.
Okay.
91.
I'll
But
try to believe you.
it's a joke for the thing.
Is it?
90%.
It keeps going down.
Keep deducting percentage points as you go.
Look, I am clearly like 85% sure of myself right now, so...
And drop more.
Wow.
Do I hear 70?
No. I think I'm out. I'm out of juice. Until I get more Jujutsu Kaisen to...
Read the manga.
I could do
Yeah.
So,
that.
you know.
I could
Well,
do that.
and then there's the movie, and I think the movie is original enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, in content, at least.
I will say this, as far as a comparison, if we're going to really make a comparison to Jujutsu Kaisen and Naruto, I don't think Jujutsu Kaisen ever going to have a filler episode as good as the Kakashi face one. That's the final thought that I'm going to have. I'm done with the podcast.
Okay.
All right.
Someone announce what we're doing next week.
Okay.
What are we doing?
Am I the only one who keeps track of this?
Isn't it JoJo Part 4?
You're damn right it's JoJo Part 4. That was yours and Envy's number 2, and we're going to be taking a look at that because you guys agreed that Part 4, and I am not going to watch all of JoJo in 1 week. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I'm strong enough. Gojo, help me. Do that and watch some of our other stuff. I don't know. Have a good day, or a good night, or whenever you're listening to this, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoy this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!